Hi everybody. If you've been on this channel for a while, you might have seen me doing Discord outreach, and you might have noticed that quite a few claims from non-vegans are repeating themselves over and over again.
This is driving me crazy.
And so they need to be addressed over and over again. And I have a few arguments that I use usually against those repeating claims. So I thought I would go through them one by one and see if you have suggestions on how to improve them. Or maybe you can use that argument yourself. Today I want to talk about the argument that was created to address the claim that the Christian God allowed us as humans to slaughter animals for food, and therefore one shouldn't have a moral obligation to go vegan and to stop paying for exploitation and slaughter of animals. I co-wrote this argument with Tone. So he really deserves the credit as the Bible scholar that he is. Here I'm addressing the claim specifically that God allowed us to use and slaughter animals for food. There is a different claim that God made animals for us to exploit and eat. And that claim has been addressed many times from Genesis 1. Most vegans know this rhetoric already. That dominion doesn't mean necessarily to subdue and conquer and exploit and slaughter, that it might just mean like something like guardianship. But there is another side of it also buried in Genesis 1 that I'm not addressing here, and that is that it never says that God created animals for us to eat. In fact, animals were created to multiply, almost the same as the humans, and they were created before Adam. But let's get on with the argument that we are making today. Just to remind you, the claim is that God allowed us to slaughter animals for food, and here is my rebuttal. First of all, Genesis 29, and God said, "Behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat." In this case, the word meat means food. He continues, "And to every beast in the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat." So not only are humans supposed to eat plant foods in this perfect world that God created, the Garden of Eden, so are other animals. So everybody is a herbivore. But what happens in Genesis 9? "Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things." So God allows Noah, that just stepped off the ark, to slaughter all animals for food. That's usually what we receive as the evidence that God allowed us to slaughter animals for food. But what is the context? In Genesis 8, 20 and 21, when Noah got off the boat, he built an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled the sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, "I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth." So what's happening here? Noah gets off the boat, he builds an altar, and without being asked, he takes a bunch of animals, slaughters them, and burns them on this altar for the Lord, supposedly. And what does God say to this? Well, I can't curse people anymore because they're just evil from when they're tiny. And subsequently, only a few verses later, God says, "And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth and upon every fowl of the air." Does that sound like God thinks that humans are good? Not to me. God thinks that humans are evil from their youth. And so he basically just gives up on humanity and allows them to do whatever they want, within very strict welfarist boundaries that the Christians today abandon as well. So just to reiterate, God's perfect creation was for us to be vegan and allow animals to do their own thing while taking care of them under dominion. But it's after the fall and after he destroys entire humanity, just to find out that the person he saved is this evil prick who takes animals and burns them on the altar without being asked. So God gave up on humanity. And why do Christians think they should continue to disappoint their God so badly, to steer so far away from God's perfect plan that they continue to exploit and slaughter animals? Well, I have no answer. Maybe you do. So far, every Christian that I told this argument to just repeated the argument back to me. Alright, hope this was useful. See you next time.
This is driving me crazy.